All right, so we are going to talk about chargers and charger cables and connectors and ports today. So first, we'll start with the basics. So the charger base. This is an example of a charger base right here. The charger base has two parts. One part is the USB port, which is this right here, this little square part that you can see right here. And it has electrical prongs, and I'll say both of those words again. So this is that part. These are the electrical prongs. So again, two parts. So to the charger base, we have the USB port, and we have electrical prongs. And our electrical prongs, as you know, plug into our electrical outlet right there. So that's that word, electrical outlet. And of course, this plugs in right there. So the word we use for that, we say plug in. So we will be doing a lot of plugging in today, or I should say I will be doing a lot of plugging in. I'm gonna add one for you right now. So I plugged the base in. I am now going to unplug the base so that I can use it for the rest of this. So here we go. We're going to unplug. There we go. Successful. So plug in, unplug, and we plug into the electrical outlet. So we plug in our electrical prongs. So this word right here, whoops, sorry. Our electrical prongs, we plug those into the outlet right here. Now we're going to talk about different kinds of connectors. So connectors, I'm going to put up this next board right here. The connector plugs into the port. The connector plugs into the port. So this is what we put right in here. And there are different kinds of connectors. We're going to talk about 4 different kinds today. And we're also going to talk about cables. So maybe you heard the word connector before, maybe you haven't. You might have heard the word cable before though. So a couple different things. So cable, when we say cable, so cable is actually, I'm going to try and find a short one here. So cable is, for example, so this thing right here. So here's a cable. There's 3 parts to this cable. So there is the cable itself. That's the cable right there. And the cable has 2 connectors. So you can kind of see those there. Hopefully they'll come into focus. So it has 2 connectors. There we go. So you may notice the 2 connectors are different, right? So they're not the same. So we're going to talk about the 4 kinds of connectors and how these work. And also we will talk about what they're typically used for. So, oops, the first one, I forgot. I'm going to add this right up here. So USB. So we have these 3 down here. So USB connectors. So these are the big square ones right here. So you'll notice that these are nice and big and square. They kind of look like this right here. So these are what plug into your charger base right here. So that's a USB connector. Now if we look at the other side, so I just kind of picked one randomly. So this first one, this is the micro USB. Get that nice and close. Ooh, those are my dogs. Say hello to my dogs. Hi guys. So micro USB looks like this. Oh, there, that's a good image. Micro USB. The next kind, we'll just go down the list. This is a type C cable right here. And I'll hold these all up all together at the end just so we can kind of see how they're different. Oh, it doesn't want to focus. Let's see. There we go, type C right there. And the last kind is an 8-pin lightning. These ones look very distinct. So let's see. I know, once to focus on those words. Here, I'm going to move this for a second, see if it will focus. No. There we go. Kind of blurry. So what I might do with this, let me just flip one of these over. All right. So there it is. That's a nice image. So this is the 8-pin lightning, and I'll pull in that first board so that we can look at it again. There we go. So 8-pin lightning looks like this. And as we go through these again, I'll talk about what these are used for. So this one right here, the 8-pin lightning cable, again, or sorry, connector, 8-pin lightning connector. This one right here, you may recognize this if you have an iPhone. These are usually used for iPhones and iPads, those sorts of things. If you have an iPod, it might use this as well. The next one is a Type-C cable. This one looks like this right here. We'll get a little bit of a better image this time. This is a Type-C. The Type-C cable is used with newer Android and Samsung phones, also some Apple products, some laptops. And then our micro USB, if you have a Samsung or Galaxy phone, there's a very good chance you have the micro USB. So we're gonna look at this one over here, just like this one more time. So here's the micro USB. Ooh, there we go, almost. This is my first time doing this. There we go. There it is. You can kind of see it has a little bit of a different shape from the Lightning C. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold this here for just a second, and I'm gonna get all of those back together so we can look at them. Oh, I'm missing one. Oh, here it is. So these are the 3 kinds of cables. Again, I tried to get them mostly in the same color. So this, of course, lightning cable, you can tell because it has the lines on it. These 2 right here, they look similar, but if you look at their shape up close, this one kind of has, you can see it looks a little bit different at the top. And then this one over here, the blue is rounded. So that is the Type-C cable. And I'm just going to find our word plug in real quick. Let us see. Oop, not that one. There it is. There it is, plug in. And so what you can do, so I'm going to take, so this is an example. Here's a phone right here. So here's a Samsung phone. So this one right here, so this is the charger port. And again, we said before, the connector plugs into the port. So on the phone right here, this is going to be our port. This is an older Galaxy phone. So this one will have a micro USB. And so this one we can just, I think it goes this way, whoop, this way, plug in right there. And then of course the other end of this, we have plugged in to here. And so now here's this, and we're ready to, we can plug it into the wall and it will charge the phone, right? So that's a little bit about our cables. So what I'm gonna do, oh, and you can see battery's dead. So there's our little battery right there. It is now charging. It was at 0%. Hasn't been used in a while. So one more time, our cables, I'm going to unplug. Gonna unplug that. So our cables, one more time, we have our connectors, I should say. We have our USB connector, that's the big square one. We have our micro USB connector, and that is again what you'll see with a lot of, so like this is an older Samsung phone, so Samsung Android phones. Type-C connector, that is again used with newer Android Samsung phones, also with some Apple products. Some of their laptops will use those. And then we have the 8-pin lightning connector, and that is used with iPhones and iPads and all of those sorts of things. So the question we're going to come away with right now is, what kind of connector does your phone use? And we can say my phone uses a micro USB connector, for example. One thing I think it's important to point to, so all of the different cables that we talked about, they all have USB connectors. They all have the USB connector on one side. It's what is the second connector that is different. So you could say my phone uses a micro USB connector, or my phone uses a Type-C connector, or my phone uses an 8-pin lightning connector. And again, why I wrote "and" right here is because this one right here, 8-pin, 8 is beginning with a vowel sound, and anytime we have a vowel sound at the beginning of our word, we use "and" instead of "a." So my question to you is, what kind of connector does your phone use? So I hope that you found this helpful, and thank you for watching.